Hey guys, thanks for joining. This is John from Friends with Your Benefits. Today I'm going to give you a quick, straightforward pointer on how to pick a medical plan. So picture this. Let's say you're 26 years old, you're getting kicked off your parents' plan, total bummer, and you're trying to figure out what you want to do for health insurance. So you take a look, and HR has given you this guide that we'll show you in a bit, and you show it to your parents, and mom and dad want you to enroll in this plan that has a low deductible. But you see that your company also offers you a plan with a much higher deductible, but less money is going to come out of your paycheck. How do you pick your plan? So we take a look at this plan design here from HR, and we notice a few things. So we have highlighted a few things for you in red. So we certainly take a look at the deductible. Your parents will probably take a look at it. So we see for this plan called the PPO, it's $500. For the plan called the Hdhp or high deductible health plan, it's $1,500. And let's also assume that you're only going to cover yourself. You don't have any children. You're not going to cover spouse or domestic partners. Let's start taking a look at this. So what I like to take a look at is the worst case scenario. So, hey, let's say you happen to have a hospitalization or you have a lot of medical expenses. What's the worst case scenario going to be? So to find that out, we take a look at the out-of-pocket maximum. So we go down here, and for the PPO plan, it's $1,800 a year. And for the high deductible health plan, it's $3,000. But what we also notice is the money that's going to come out of the paycheck on an annual basis is going to be $2,000 a year for the PPO and only $900 for the high deductible health plan. And we also see this thing called employer HSA funding, and we see there's $500. So what do we do? So there's a concept that I want you to think of, and it's really called your maximum exposure. So I like to think about worst case scenario. There's many ways you can kind of figure out your medical claims. You can say, hey, maybe I'll only go to the doctor once or twice. Maybe I'll take a look at my claims for the last few years and do some very complicated math to figure out what plan is best for me. Or you can take a look at it and say, well, okay, if you know what hits the fan, then which plan will be better for me or not. So if we take a look at the concept of maximum exposure, what is maximum exposure? It's really a combination of your out-of-pocket maximum. So that's the most amount of money you will pay in deductibles, co-pays, and co-insurance in a year. Mentioned before, company HSA funding. So HSA funding or health savings account is really money to you from the company that can be utilized to cover healthcare expenses. And then we look at your payroll contributions. So for the PPO plan, we saw before that the total out-of-pocket max is $1,800. Company is not going to give you any HSA funding for that PPO plan. And we know that $2,000 a year is going to come out of your paycheck. So we add them up, and your total exposure is $3,800 a year. We go to the HDHP, out-of-pocket maximum is much higher. So it's $3,000. So it's a difference of about $1,200 a year. HSA funding. So the company is going to give you $500 to go in your health savings account. So that's money back to you. And then in terms of payroll contributions, $900 is going to come out of your paycheck over the course of the year. So we add up your out-of-pocket maximum, we offset it with the HSA funding and add your payroll contribution. We see your net maximum exposure is $3,400 a year. So if you take a look at it, basically, if you're in the high deductible health plan, again, if you know what hits the fan, you're $3,400 relative to $3,800 in the PPO plan. So you save yourself $400 a year. Now, let's say you maybe only use the doctor once or twice a year, or maybe you only have preventive care. So let's add up the company HSA funding of $500 and the payroll contribution of $1,100 savings. So really, in a best case scenario, you're saving yourself $1,600. So what does really all this mean? It really means in a worst case scenario, you save $400 with HDHP. In a best case scenario, you save $1,600. So imagine all the things you can do with that money. Again, you can use that to pay off some maybe student loan debt, invest in some stocks, bonds, go for some crypto, or really just use it for down payment on either a new car, new house, what have you. It's certainly a lot of money, nothing to sneeze at. Some of you may be saying like, okay, well, why, John, is the maximum exposure lower for the HDHP compared to the PPO? Well, little insider secret here. So insurance companies believe that if you go in that Hdhp, you're going to be a better consumer of healthcare. So what does that mean? That means you're going to actually pay attention to the prices of healthcare before you receive care, and you're going to maybe go to a provider that has better prices or is better at care, instead of just going to any provider down the street and not really caring about the bill. Well, hope you found this video to be informative. If you would like, feel free to comment below. As always, we encourage you to hit the bell and subscribe. If you have any comments or questions or concerns or a topic for a future video, feel free to send us an email. Our email is friendswithyourbenefits@protonmail.com. Thanks for joining.